Strike and what is on the horizon for all of these books. I am David Marriott. I'm the assistant editor on a number of these titles: M.A.S.K, Micronauts, Wrong. Next to me is David Hedgecock, who...
Hi everybody, David Hedgecock. I'm the editor-in-chief here at IDW Publishing, and largely the editor responsible for the First Strike.
I'm David Rodriguez, and I'm co-writing the First Strike series.
I'm Mary Scott, and I'm writing First Strike.
I'm Michael Kelly, head of Hasbro Publishing. I'm not writing anything.
I'm Carlos Guzman. I'm an editor on Transformers and G.I. Joe.
I'm Aubrey Citizen. I'm a writer, the crown jewel, the Hasbro universe, G.I. Joe. It's not fun to say when Miles not going to get upset about it.
You know, I'm always a little upset just because I never thought to call my book the crown jewel.
This is making it better for you. As long as somebody's irritated by it.
I'm John Barber. I write the Optimus Prime series and Revolutionaries, and I'm doing some backups to First Strike.
And I'm Brandon Easton, writer of M.A.S.K.
All right. So, following last year's Revolution event, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, we launched what we like to think of as Season 1 of a shared universe between all of these properties. And before I go too deeply into what's on the horizon, I wanted to talk about what's currently on the shelves and the sorts of things that, after this panel, when you come down to the signing, you can get signed. So to begin with, we're going to talk about Optimus Prime. John, can you tell us, why does Optimus deserve his own book now? We've been doing Transformers for years. Why is Optimus the title we're doing right now?
Oh, man, you make a good point. Obviously Optimus has been the leader of the Autobots. He's a Prime. But in our stories, if you've been following him, he hasn't been leader of Seibertron in, well, a really long time. One of the things he's done right before, the thing that kind of led to the Revolution event, was he annexed Earth to be part of Seibertron's Council of Worlds. So that means that instead of trying to protect Earth, instead of trying to keep everybody away from Earth, it's just, okay, let's let Earth be part of this cosmic community. Let's let it be part of this world, this greater universe, which kind of led into the response in Revolution, and definitely leads into where First Strike is going. So he's really trying to. Not everybody agrees with what he's doing. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, maybe Earth is better off by itself. Maybe he doesn't have even the authority to do what he does. There's a wide cast in Optimus Prime. There's a lot of characters. I mean, I don't know if anybody read the issue 9 last week, but it was kind of focused on a character that wasn't Optimus. But one of the things that the series is really about is sort of the gravity of Optimus is so great that everybody around him gets pulled into his orbit. So even if it's a story, we do know that Soundwave's still a big character, RC is a big character, Pirate Magma is really important. But all of their lives have been dramatically affected by Optimus and his actions. So I think that's why it made sense to really focus on Optimus Prime as the centerpiece of the series title. Boom!
Now, for one of our other TF titles, the end is nearing for Talala 1, which, is really sad because it's so good. But can you tell us a little bit about where we related games are now and where they're going?
Oh, yeah. So Talala 1 has had sort of two main arcs. The first one I like to think of as Onslaught, no! And the second one is Starscream, no! Politics has been heating up on Seibertron. Starscream is becoming increasingly agitated and confronted by his Jiminy Cricket ghost of Bumblebee that lives in his head. Who's trying to make him admit that he is maybe not the worst person in the world. And he's like, no, screw it. Windblade has been, ironically, our little city speaker is finding her own voice. And so as we have been tooling around with, politics and issues of mind manipulation and dubious consent, we wrap up towards what I'm going to spoil and shock and amaze you all now, the closest thing I've ever come to writing a happy ending in issue 12. So, yes.
And our final TF book is Lost Light. Since we don't have anyone who works on it other than in an editorial capacity here, I'm going to have Carlos talk about it. So Carlos, what is a Lost Light and why is Hot Rod purple?
I mean, Hot Rod being purple, I really don't want to get into, but I will for sure talk about this book right now.
Carlos Jackson.
I don't know if anyone's reading the series right now, but the 1-2 punch of the last 2 issues that released is really like some of my favorite TF storytelling that we've done in the last year. James Roberts is really just like, he's continuing stories before that were developing more than CI, while taking this cast into new directions and sort of starting to put even more things forward for sort of like where his eventual end game is for these characters and where they're going to go. Right now, it's weird to call a book Lost Light when all these characters are not on the Lost Light, but that's coming up in the very near future. The storyline that just wrapped up now puts them on course to actually reach the Lost Light, which has been stolen away from them by Getaway, and then we're going to get a chance to see what's actually been going on in the Lost Light pretty soon. Yeah, but James and Jack Lawrence on art, Priscilla Tramontano is going to come in for 2 issues that are really fantastic, and they've just been doing a fantastic job on this book. Really happy with it.
Yeah, I actually sort of said Jack Lawrence, I think, has the longest run on a monthly Transformers book that's uninterrupted on Lost Light already. It's true.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
It's true.
That guy told me. Andrew Griffin.
And then up next is Rom, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. If you've been reading Rom, he has made touchdown on Earth. He's now being helped out, kind of, by a couple of other Soul Star Knights, Libya and Orpheon. And going into the next arc, we're going to see Rom going up against Diaries that aren't so much creepy, they're more monstrous, like classical sea monsters. And Rom's finally going to actually understand, kind of, why the race are on Earth and why they have chosen to set up shop here instead of, you know, consuming the world and moving on. After that, we have Micronauts. David H., since you were the editor of the series after Barbara left. Thanks, Barbara. So Micronauts were sort of at the heart of Revolution, and right now with Andrew Griffith, who's here in the audience, we are wrapping up the rapid part of the series, which is almost a second Universal crossover. Why are they so compelling to be centerpieces in these series? Why are the Micronauts such an interesting character to build a event in a crossover around?
I think the thing that is fascinating about the Micronauts, and what we're going to see a lot more of as we move into the next season, is they're 3 inches tall, right? They're like action figure size, and so having that incredibly large scale difference between these characters who are heroes in these really diminutive size on Earth and interacting with Earth creatures and Earth humans, I think that's a really interesting, compelling, just a baseline for stories. The Micronauts, written by Colin and Jimmy Z, have been a real pleasure and a real joy to follow the adventures. I think if you haven't had a chance to read the Micronauts, it's a very different spin that we've taken. If you're familiar with any of the old Marvel stuff, I think we've been true to the heritage of those stories, but while still blazing a new path. And like I said, we're wrapping things up with Wrath of Cars next month with issue 5 of that series. And that'll be ending our season 1. And again, Andy Griffith on the art is doing an amazing job. So if you haven't got a chance, please make sure you check that out. Moving forward, as we move into the next season, through events from First Strike, I think Micronauts is going to get even more exciting. Colin and Ginny have laid down the foundation for what's going to happen next, and we're going to talk about it a little bit, and I think it's going to be really exciting.
And then we come to M.A.S.K. Brandon.
Yes.
So you had the tough job of modernizing M.A.S.K. and making it work in a universe that already has Transformers and G.I. Joe. Can you tell us a little bit about where you found this niche of, a group that uses incredible technology and transforming cars outside of, the pre-existing versions of those?
Well, first I had to figure out why they spelled command with a K. I still haven't figured it out. One of these days I'll get to that. But what I had to do was look at the 80s cartoon and refine it back from some of the cheese. And, I put in a couple of cheesy jokes during the run, but generally speaking, I looked at a real-world so-called analog for how you would do that in the 21st century, and I thought, wow, Fast and the Furious. Because since the 4th movie, they turned into superheroes, so I was like, because they can't be killed, they're fighting submarines to the North Pole and stuff, so I mean, that's basically M.A.S.K. without the mask, and I just had that idea of reverse engineering the technology from Seibertronian tech, which makes perfect sense for the current Revolution Hasbro universe. So that was really my task, was trying to find a way to make it make sense in the grand scheme of the Hasbro Revolution IDW universe. And I think, despite courting a little bit of controversy because of the main character, and but we won a couple of Glyph Awards for my work on M.A.S.K, so that was fantastic. And it's been an awesome ride, so thank you. And
I want to put an underline on that. Like, nominated 4 Glyph Awards, 1, 2, and really congratulations to Brandon and the whole team for that. That was a really nice accomplishment, and I'm so proud to be part of the book and be part of that. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the reality is, IDW gave me a shot, and I tried to do the best I could for their faith, because this is a major linchpin of alongside the crown jewel of G.I. Joe, this is the linchpin. And I would say that, to make sure
very important,
everybody has their slot. So I just wanted to make sure that I delivered on my pitch and did the best I could. So it was awesome, and I hope people, the trade's out, or coming out within the next day, or maybe at the booth now. So if you didn't give it a shot already, please do. The first season is wrapping up now, and we had the origin of Venom come out, which to me 6 and 7 were amazing. They came out very nice, at least in my mind. And just give it a shot, check it out, and see if you like it. That's all. Thanks.
What I heard from that is the rest of you need to win awards now.
I think that's
Finally, we come to G.I. Joe. So Aubrey, what makes G.I. Joe the crown jewel of the Hasbro community?
I'm so glad you asked.
Speak very carefully.
My answer is really simple. I imagine most of you all have been reading it, because it's a crown jewel. It's right there on the cover of the trade, available right now in the IDW booth. I'm sure you guys are already aware, but look at the thing. Have you seen the artwork on this? Yanni Miliani and Lovren Kinzerski, they're our kind of our core go-to guys. We have fill-in, not in this trade, but issue 5 from Aaron Conley, who this covers for us. It's also amazing. But Yanni and Lovren have created a whole new aesthetic for a big, action-packed adventure hero comics. And not superhero, because it's not capes and stuff, but the energy and the life that they have brought to this book is phenomenal. And the truth of the matter is, this would be the crown jewel of the Hasbro universe where I was involved with it or not. I'm not doing a good job security right now. But I'm being honest with you. The book is gorgeous, and I couldn't be more proud of it. And I'm really excited about moving into, we're already into the second half of our first year, and we're really starting to see the payoff from, this is a soap opera book. In the best way possible, right? In the way that the old G.I. Joe, some of the cartoons were soap operatic, right? They were serialized, and fell in love with these characters, and you saw them bounce off of each other, and it was super action-packed. And that was one of the things I took away from my big rewatch of the Sunbow cartoons, the build-up to do this, was how much happens in those cartoons. And they managed to do it while also giving you such a clear idea of who all these characters are. And that's been our big goal in the first, 5-6 issues, is really let you know who these characters are. And now that we've done that, things are going to get really weird. things are getting really sad. Michael knows. Michael knows exactly how weird things are going to get. But, issue 8, which is out next month, in a couple weeks, yeah. It's something we've been building to the whole time. It's a massive, it's literally is how I pronounce it, half the issue, Quick Kick and Snake Eyes, Kung Fu Fight. 10 pages, it is half the issue. It's amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever seen Yanni draw. It's great. Issue 9 ends, we have a brand new Cobra Commander. Can't say who it is yet. I can, but I don't want to. Oh yeah, we can find out. But yeah, we're going to bring a Cobra Commander, which leads into our First Strike crossovers.
Come for that fight and then stay for the Skyward rock and roll jokes.
Oh yeah, there are a few jokes too.
So all of these have come out of Revolution, which was last year's major crossover event. And with that, we launched Revolutionaries, which, continues to bring together all of the best characters, well, not all the best characters, but pretty much all the best characters, in fun one-shot storylines that really bridge the gap between Revolution and the upcoming First Strike. And with that, Hasbro has provided us with something to go full here at this convention, which is the Revolution toy set available in their booth. So I want to start out with Michael Kelly, just because I know you've been getting questions about, hey, when are we getting IDW toys for years? But then I want to open it up to the rest of the panel. Can you talk about what it's like having this partnership and having it develop in this way, and seeing how cool these things are? We kind of made these things.
Yeah, I was joking before the panel that, I think I've been sitting on the IDW Hasbro panel for about 7 or 8 years now, and usually at the question and answer session, the only questions that I get are, when's this going to be a toy? And I always have to say, I don't know, ask the toy guys, I don't do that. And, so it's just a dissatisfying answer, and so it's really awesome to be able to sit here today and be like, yeah, now, you can go downstairs right now and buy it, and it is so cool. The ROM figure in there, that's the first time that ROM's been available since 1979. I'm sad to say that I remember, but I won't go further than that. But yeah, it's just really exciting to see it come to life. I think the last time that we had a direct toy tie-in to the comics with origination in comics was Drift. So that's going back a few years. So it's really exciting to see this set come out and the tie-in, and certainly the relationship, the creativity that comes out of IDW working with Hasbro has always been amazing.
What about you, Joe?
It's the crown jewel.
Anyone else have thoughts, feelings, special moments getting to see these things?
I didn't even know these were being made, and I checked Twitter one day, and Chris Ryall had posted, we have the new version of Matt Tracker, who was, African American, which quoted, as I said, some controversy. But the fact that I worked on something and it actually got made into a toy is like a dream that I didn't even know I had. It was just, I saw it, I was like, wow, this is on the bucket, this is on the list, because I didn't think about this, but it's one of the most incredible things to wake up one day out of the blue and see something you created, immortalized, and it's just an amazing feeling. That's all I can say about it.
By the way, Brandon, your box is in my office.
What's that?
Your box is in my office, and I am going to mail it to you shortly. I promise.
But see, it's the worst thing when it's something like this, because that's such a cool box, and so you want to leave it on display, but then you're like, but I helped make this, so I gotta close it out. But it's so rare, they only give you one.
That's why we have 2 in our house.
I'll see you after the show.
I think my favorite comment when we first posted that the set was coming out was I saw several people say, but where are the Micronauts? Look closely. There you are there.
Just one more thing on the it's been a real privilege and honor to be working with Hasbro so closely for so many years here at IDW. And they've always been so incredibly supportive of everything that we've tried and everything we've done. And part of the reason why you guys get to read some of the really insane and fun and crazy stories that we get to do with these Hasbro characters is in large part because of Michael and his team and their willingness to take risks and do things different and really tell stories that are interesting and fun and character driven. And so it's just a pleasure for us to be able to work with them. And when we get something like this, you know, a toy set based on, you know, a project that we kind of came out of our heads on the IDW side, it's just like the cherry on the top. Such an amazing, just an amazing added bonus for a great partnership that we have with them.
And that all leads us to First Strike. So First Strike has been carefully crafted by a lot of love by many of the people here, as a jumping on point for newer readers, lapsed readers, you know, and to get these properties playing with each other. So it's not just like a crossover, it's an actual event. There's weight behind it, while still, you know, being informing and fun, and you guys are able to make good jokes. So this will inform everything that is coming into season 2 and everything else down our line. So, you know, yes, it's a book that you're going to feel like you both need to read and want to read, because it has been, you know, just an amazing experience put together and is a lot of fun to read.
Yeah, so coming out of Revolution, it was sort of, you know, the idea was, hey, we're going to be putting these characters together for the first time, and we spent this last year, this first season, sort of like tentatively dipping our toes in the water. You know, when you go to read an Optimus Prime book, it's still Optimus Prime, it's still a Transformers book. Every once in a while, the G.I. Joe might show up, but it's mostly just a Transformers book. Same with Total One, same with, definitely with Lost Love. There's no chocolate in that peanut butter at all. And then with M.A.S.K, you know, occasionally we might see a G.I. Joe or a Transformer. On the G.I. Joe team, there's a Transformer Skywarp, but, you know, outside of that, it's largely a G.I. Joe book. So that first season, we've been tentative, you know, just sort of dipping our toe in the water. And now with First Strike, we're sort of gonna we're kind of resetting the table, and now we're gonna really kind of dive in deep and find out what does it really mean to see, you know, a Transformer on Earth, and what does that really look like, and what are the stories that are coming out of that. So that's what First Strike is.
And then David Rodriguez, there's too many Davids up here.
Yes.
And Mary, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about what First Strike is and what it's about?
Yeah, so First Strike was, I remember at like the end of Revolutionaries, it was like, blah, 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 we're going to do this with Revolution, we're going to do that with Revolution, we're going to do this with Revolution. And you know what would be cool next is to put G.I. Joe in Seibertron. Bye. And I was like, what? Well, my book's on Seibertron. And so I started thinking about that, and Hedgehog and I started talking, I think like around like February or something. And he's like, okay, so we really want to do something with G.I. Joe and Seibertron. And I was like, yes, it's a great idea, and I've just had a baby. So I'm not sleeping anyway, so let's get weird. And I was like, but no, in all seriousness. So I was like, I really want to do this. I think this is going to be a super cool book, and I'm like, I want to partner with someone. I want to make sure that, you know, like this we get an A-quality story. So David and I, other David and I. That's the thing about First Strike, is it really should be called First Strike: David's. And because half the people on this are named David, so the email chains get really weird.
Yeah, we also have David Garcia Cruz doing coloring on the backup stories.
Yep.
So you put David in an email, and 4 guys are gonna respond.
Yeah, but so I was trying to think about what did I like about events, what did I not like about events, just any kind of events in general. And I was like, I really want First Strike to be a complete story in and of itself, and to be a trade that you wanted to pick up. And so we started to think about the fact that, you know, as John talked about, in the Transformers universe, Earth has been pushed onto this cosmic stage. Optimus has annexed it. It's kind of like in a really nice way, forcing it to become part of sort of this UN-type organization that the Seibertronians have built. And so essentially I decided, I was like, well, what if we do like Brexit? And so this is sort of, what we find out is that Joel Colton, the founder of G.I. Joe, and several other has teamed up with several nefarious elements of the Hasbro universe and decided that they don't want Earth to be part of the galactic community. They would like Earth to be separate again, please, and they would like to do so in the most violent way possible. And so they decided the only way to ensure Earth's safety in isolation is to destroy Seibertron. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Come on, people. Transformers are as tall as this room. G.I. Joes are as tall as you and me, and that's not going to work. And then Micronauts are fit in here again. What are you going to do? Which I also did think at 3 in the morning at one point. But we've been able to come up with some really cool solutions behind that. And it's been really great because, you know, when I first started off, Hedgehog sent me like John and Aubrey and Brandon and everyone had written out where they wanted their season 1 to end, you know, where they were going to go. So I started pulling together, Dave Rodriguez and I started pulling together like, okay, well, we know Optimus is annexed Earth, we know G.I. Joe is going to end here, we know this is happening at M.A.S.K, and seeing how they so organically were able to solve problems that we had in the writing, really made me realize that this was going to be a cool story. The humans of the Hasbroverse are strong enough and cool enough to take on the Transformers, who are the crown jewel of the Hasbro universe. But if anyone was going to step up to that crown jewel, it would be the crown jewel of the Hasbro universe, which would be the G.I. Joe. So, yeah, so you've got G.I. Joes, Transformers trying to commit robo-genocide. Scarlet and her team are going to stop it, and all laced into there is this really cool personal story about, you know, it's almost like a little bit, I'm going to get in trouble. It's almost like a little bit of that, like, Ghost at a Watchmen feel where they're like, no, Atticus Finch, you can't be racist. Like, it's a little bit of Scarlet sort of trying to find out, like, this guy who started the G.I. Joes, Joe Colton, he's a hero. Like, he can't be doing this. He would never do this. This is so clearly wrong, you know? And it's sort of her journey to see if she can redeem and save this man who means so much to her, you know? And if she can, or if she's going to let an entire species and planet be destroyed by that man. And so that's sort of this nice, we wanted a nice, hard, cool emotional center to this, you know, the crazy ninjas and robots and stuff.
To add to that, if I could, one of the reasons that I think that the Hasbro universe works so well, and I think almost everybody on the panel at this point has mentioned it sort of in an aside, but what's really cool is that the characters in the Hasbro universe it's all based on technology and science and ability. You know, you don't have to be from another planet, you don't have to have a genetic mutation, you don't have to have been the victim of a scientific experiment to be a superhero in our universe. You basically have to be really intelligent and really work hard. And if you do that, you can overcome any challenge, whether it be you know, nefarious forces on Earth or 30-foot robots who might be invading. So I think that's what I love about the Hasbro universe is that idea that anybody in this room could be a member of our team.
And speaking of nefarious forces,
Before we go back, if we can go back, I wanted to point out a couple of other players, part of the team for First Strike. Max Dunbar is the artist for First Strike, and if you aren't familiar with Max, he was largely responsible for the initial run of Micronauts that we did. He also did some Dungeons and Dragons work for us prior to that with Jim's Up. And Max was the perfect choice for this project. He comes from that sort of quote-unquote superhero style, very clean, very easy to read and understand, but with all the detail and the ability to sort of give you the big splash when you need it. So I'm really happy to have Max as part of the team, and he's just knocking it out of the park with every page. His colors for the project is Andrew Zarate. Andrew's been doing work for us at IDW for several years now, and this was sort of his moment to step up and really shine, and he's just also doing an incredible job. When you look at the First Strike Zero issue, hopefully everyone has one in their hands, and if they don't, make sure you get one from us at the end of the show. You'll see just like our team on this is just exceptional, and very happy to have it. Also, one of the unsung heroes who will never get enough credit because of how much he really does contribute is John Barber. Down towards the end here, John's been consulting with us and making sure a lot of Transformer lore and a lot of G.I. Joe lore is on point, and that we know that we're getting things right, quote unquote. And John is also writing the backups, which sort of fill in the journey of Joe Colton and why a man who's been so integral to G.I. Joe and seen as such a hero in the past, why he would consider something like this, why he would consider doing something like this. So John is also just an incredible tribute or asset to this project, and can't say thanks to him enough either. And I'll kick it back to you, David.
You stole my transition. I was also about to say nice things about John and ask him to
Say some more. I like how this is turning out. Yeah. You say it.
I usually sound sad that people call me.
So John has been a really great, valuable part of First Strike and really just of Hasbro and IDW for a very long time. And right now he's working on backups for the series about some of these more nefarious characters. John, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm pretty great. So it's sort of like Joe Colton's recruitment drive, and sort of how he sort of him interacting with different characters, how he brings people in and why he brings it in, and a little bit of what it does to him, because he's not necessarily agreeing with everybody he's pulling in. He sort of, in his mind, is looking for the greater good. And it's very much in his mind, an ends justify the means scenario. But a lot of people disagree with what the ends are too. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to put those together. It kind of really springs out of Revolutionaries, and goes right into what's going on in First Strike.
And with First Strike, we'll also be doing a series of one-shots or 1.5 shots featuring all of our characters and properties. So first up are the Micronauts and ROM one-shots, written by Christos Gage. And Carlos, you're going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like Micronauts and ROM's involvement in this current event, because it's such a like G.I. Joe versus Transformers thing, was kind of like downplayed, but we didn't want them to sit this one out. So in the one-shots, we kind of found a really cool adventure for them to have. They haven't really interacted with each other since the Revolution event, and there's a situation that finally like brings them together here now that Wrath of Cars wraps up, and ROM is kind of like just waiting, raring to go on a new chance to kick some diorite butt. So they kind of get the opportunity to team up, as it's a situation where the Micronauts get wind of sort of the diorites are experimenting with making almost like a virus out of themselves rather than trying to infect people the way they've been doing. So when the Micronauts catch wind of this, they're like, we know who knows diorites, it's got to be ROM. And at first it's a little dicey whether they're going to team up or not, but eventually they come together, and I won't spoil what happens, but it's probably going to involve the diorites losing. I'm just going to say that right now.
Then we have the G.I. Joe and M.A.S.K crossover by our own Aubrey Citizen.
Yeah, man. I'm really excited about these. First and foremost, because Ilias Kiriatis is drawing them. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. He's previously worked on the Dirk Gently books at IDW, which are awesome. If you haven't read those, you should pick them up. They're gorgeous. And there's one thing that those books have been lacking. It's explosions and giant robots and lasers and museum heists and kung fu fights. And these two issues have all of those in them. No, I'm really excited about it. And I'm really fortunate too, because Brandon has done such amazing work on the M.A.S.K characters. For the context, for what we're talking about here, the Venom characters, specifically Ice Queen and Stiletto and Thunderflame, and it's G.I. Joe, so I call them by their code names. Everybody's got code names. No, I don't do that. They all got code names. So while the events of First Strike are going on, right? it's a big deal. It's on Seibertron. G.I. Joe takes, they send some of their absolute best. Scarlet goes, Roadblock goes. That leaves kind of a vacuum, a power vacuum, back on Earth. And control of G.I. Joe and Lemuria, their underwater base that used to be a Decepticon spaceship. They, normal. Control the G.I. Joe team falls to shipwreck. And as you might imagine, from his name, it doesn't go terribly well. He's not used to it. It's something new. And over the course of 2 issues, he has to figure out how to lead this team, lead them into battle, especially because they're facing a brand new threat, which are the Venom folks, who have been folded into Cobra under the control of the new Cobra commander, which I'm still not going to tell you who it is yet. You have to read G.I. Joe on sale in, I don't know, a couple months. Whatever, you'll find it. It's great. But no, it's gorgeous. It's got colors by Mark Roberts. We started seeing that stuff come in. It's really fun, and it's these things are a struggle to write, and they're fun to write because you have a lot of masters to serve. You want it to be a good self-contained thing for people who are just coming in for the crossover, but you also need it to be amazing and set up the new stuff for the new series that we have coming up. So make sure you guys hang around. You're going to want to hang around after you read this thing. And I think we've got some stuff on that coming up, so I'm going to stop. Just restraint, Michael. I know that's what it is.
So Aubrey, I guess you could say that though Cobra's always had fangs, they finally have some venom.
I have said that. Yeah.
And finally, we will have the Optimus Prime and Transformers one-shots. John, yours is the only series one-shots that actually takes place on Cybertron while First Strike is happening. How did you manage to tie in Transformers, Optimus Prime, Revolutionaries, all into the timeline of that story?
The Optimus Prime ongoing is actually continuing during First Strike. So while that's going on, there's 2 issues called Primeless that are about all the Autobots on Earth kind of dealing with this big vacuum that's created when Earth is basically at war with an alien species, and the biggest representative of that species is gone. It's going to be Kei Zama, who are continuing doing the Optimus Prime series, and she's amazing. So during these one-shots, we're up on Cybertron. Optimus is obviously stuck right in the middle of it. He's got RC up there, and as we'll see at the end of the Revolutionaries series, they're also there. Without giving anything away, we don't exactly see that, but that's what happens. In between issues, they, for a very logical reason, they make their way there. And there's one person in particular who I can't say who it is because we haven't gotten there yet, who's very much caught between the 2 worlds. This person becomes an object of being chased by the forces, by Colton's forces. And RC, Optimus, and Revolutionaries are trying to get to that person first. So that was really, it kind of spins off of the main opening gambit of First Strike, the first strike of First Strike, I guess you could say. And it kind of goes off on its own into the wilderness of Cybertron.
And then coming out of these books will be some fresh new things. Like
just one other little small point, Dave. Sorry. So one of the things we were careful about with this new event is that we didn't flood you readers with a bunch of extra titles. So you'll see that in August, a lot of books like G.I. Joe and Micronauts Wrath of Karza and Transformers 201, those series will be ending. And so in September and October, rather than having to buy all those regular books and all these one-shots and the event, really what we're doing is we're just making it so if you bought 3 or 4 books a month from the Hasbro universe, that's still about all we're going to ask of you during this event. So we're not trying to gouge you guys, we're not trying to throw a bunch of extra stuff at you. We're asking you to, hey, stick with us on all these and have some fun with us, and we're not gonna bleed you dry, we promise. So we just want to throw that out there. So hopefully, if you've been enjoying M.A.S.K, if you've been enjoying G.I. Joe, those one-shots will be the things that you get to pick up, and we're not going to ask you to buy a bunch of extra regular books as well.
And then following all of that, in December, we'll be launching some new titles, including G.I. Joe Unmasked. Aubrey, I'm going to throw it to you again.
Thanks, man. Brand new G.I. Joe title, and it's I'm really excited about it for a bunch of reasons. I'm excited about everything. I'm excited to be here, talking to y'all. But it continues what we built, right? It flows directly from the currently ongoing G.I. Joe series to the G.I. Joe one-shot, to the M.A.S.K one-shot, to the new G.I. Joe title. And so we get to pay off and continue to build all of these great, awesome character things that we've been establishing over the past year. And why I feel, so why this new series is going to be even better than the current series, which you should also be reading. But the reason this is going to be even better is because we already have all this stuff established. Now, we know who these characters are, we know what they can do, and we can start putting them in truly weird situations, like facing off against one of my absolute favorite Hasbro properties, Army Ants. Does anyone remember Army Ants from when they were a kid? Yeah! That's my demographic right there. I knew they'd show up. I knew they'd be here. No, they're ants. They're ants, and they get control of some nuclear material. And so here's the thing: you can't just go stomp an ant with a bomb. You gotta shrink down and go get it yourself because it's dangerous, right? So that's the first issue. The second issue, they fight dinosaurs. And here's the. But wait, there's more. The dinosaurs are controlled by, who else would they be controlled by? The guy who's really into giant lizards and the guy who's really into birds. Crocmaster and Raptor are controlling these dinosaurs, and they have to deal with that. It gets very weird very quickly, and I'm so thrilled about it, especially because my collaborator in this project is the guy who drew and colored that amazing piece right there. It's Nelson Daniel. If you're not familiar with Nelson Daniel's work, that's on you, and you've made huge mistakes in your life because of how great he is. Right now he's doing Clue, which is awesome. It's written by Paul Allard. Allard, just want to make sure I say it right. You should go pick that up if you haven't already. He's also done a bunch of Dungeons & Dragons that I think is gorgeous. But I don't think it holds a candle to what you're going to be seeing on the Crown Jewel of the Hasbro universe. Because again, Clue, as far as I know, doesn't have dinosaurs or army ants in it. So, I don't know. Was there a question, or you just want to be answer?
Then we'll also have Rom and the Micronauts following the one-shots. They will be sticking together for a while as Rom uses some new, smaller help to take on a big threat with a dire wraith god. So part of the old creative team sticking around. We'll have Christos Gage continuing to write it, and we're bringing back Paolo Villanelli who do the art. He did our second arc on Rom, and it's going to be really exciting because, you know, you're going to have a big guy, a bunch of little guys fighting really huge monsters, which I kind of think is my favorite thing about working on Hasbro books generally, but particularly when it's these guys. And there's going to be some exciting stuff about just how, you know, Rom and the Micronauts relate to one another. They're both kind of strangers in a strange land and have an imminent threat to deal with. We will also be having the Transformers Till All Are One annual. Harry, can you tell us a little bit about that, how that will wrap things up?
Yeah, so we really wanted to give you a satisfying conclusion at the end of 12, but we have so many, we realized we've kind of been always toying with this big question to All Are One, which is who actually should lead Seibertron? You know, you really can't have Titans lying around in underground cities, distributing unlimited power as a system of government for any length of time. But anyway, the idea is that, so we decided that we wanted to do a double issue, 40 pages, to have a Transformers election. So you're finally going to see the head-to-head between Windblade, Starscream, and Alita, who have decided to all vie for control of Seibertron and all the dirtiest, nastiest, bloodiest tricks that you can do to gain that kind of level of power. So all of you at the end of 12 are like, oh, this didn't quite wrap up, or this didn't quite wrap up. Definitely pick up the annual because it's going to be a hell of a campaign season.
And finally, also coming this December, on all of your little zero-issue books, it just says classified, so we're unclassifying it here and now. Not that the choice I did maybe a little bit ruin it for those who are paying attention, but you can be on the lookout for something magical. There's no holograms here.
Oh, yes.
About visionaries. Can't say too much about it yet, but be on the lookout for more news about that coming up soon. You got anything you want to add?
I think it's okay to announce the creative team. So our creative team from Visionaries will be Magdalena Asagio, who's been doing some really cool work over at M.A.S.K. And the artist will be our Revolution event artist, and he also did Revolutionaries Vico Ocio. So expect an incredibly high level of detail, cool art on Visionaries, and a really bombastic, crazy script from Max. So we're really excited to have both of them on board for this one.
And you'll notice something about our titles that end with Aries, Visionaries, like Revolutionaries before it, will kind of act as a bridge between what has been happening in Season 2 and what's next. And it's going to lead to something big, something, some might say, huge. Something, some might say, planet-sized.
Unicron.
And with that, we have very little time left, but we can have a couple of questions if anyone wants to come up to the mic here in the center and ask. Feel free.
Any chance of a humanoid showing up in the shared universe? They seem to be the most natural fit. In humanoids, yeah. Or robotics, but in humanoids probably seems like the most logical choice.
So, go ahead, Michael. I was going to say what you guys go ahead.
Can't really comment at this time. That's the Hasbro line. I had to be able to answer one question with I can't comment.
Right.
When's the Buster toy coming out?
I actually wanted to ask about Buster and Thundercracker and Airborne. I wonder if we can get any more like one-shots with them.
Can I say the name of it? Yeah. Is it okay? There's going to be a Transformers annual, and this is a world debut. The title is called, the title is Thundercracker in Starscream the movie. I can't say who, but somebody actually gives Thundercracker a budget, and hijinks ensue.
Marissa also shows up in First Strike.
Yeah. Oh yeah? What? Really? He survived, right? I'm just kidding. I knew that. I'm kidding.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you that don't know, Thundercracker, the Decepticon, has a dog and a burgeoning screenwriting career. He's like stuck on Earth for so long and watched so much TV. He decided he wanted to start writing TV, but he really only knows like from bad writing how to write. So he kind of misunderstands parts of humanity. This is kind of him trying to make. He'll actually try to make a nonfiction movie about the history with a couple nonfiction bits. Right now, he's trying to write a version of the Cobra, Mike Costa, Antonio Fuso Cobra series. So he found out it was about a guy in a Hawaiian shirt and really dug it.
All right.
Yeah, we also have ROM Transformers is out right now too, by myself and Christos Gage and Alex Milne. Just came out Wednesday. There's an exclusive con cover. It's non-stop, crazy action set during the war for the Seibertronian War about 200 years ago. So highly recommend you check that out if you want some amazing art.
Yeah, Alex Milne's really knocking it out of the park. For those Transformer fans who miss Alex, you got to pick up ROM vs. Transformers #1. It's out right now.
Alex Unleashed.
Got a question right here.
Yeah, I'll just say.
Shout it out.
Yeah, I can say it right here. Hey, you mentioned those books, like G.I. Joe is stopping. Now, is this new G.I. Joe at M.A.S.K, is that in addition to the G.I. Joe title, or is it replacing?
It'll replace.
Okay, and
yeah.
with Kill All or One ending, is there anything replacing that, or are we down to 2 Transformers books after?
We're considering the Visionaries book, that's filling that third Transformer for reasons I can't go into right now, but it'll be made clear.
What are some other Hasbro objects that I may not be familiar with that you're working with Hasbro?
You heard about army ants?
Where I would start, sir, if I was you, is Revolutionaries. John has this encyclopedic knowledge of all things Hasbro, and he finds an incredible amount of ways to work in all kinds of fun, like we see the Adventure Team, and he's brought in Action Man, and a lot of the old Hasbro properties you'll see in Revolutionaries. So I highly recommend Revolutionaries. For those of you who have been reading Revolutionaries, make sure you keep an eye out for issue number 8, because in it, at the back, God willing, we're going to have a full list of all the Easter eggs from all 8 issues, which is a yeoman's task that we were trying to perform. Yeah, right. And so if you've been sticking with the series, there's so much, even those who've been paying attention have missed, and I can't wait for you guys to see that Easter egg list. It's really cool. So that'd be a great place to start.
The next issue is like really the most bonkers. Agnes Garbowska draws parts of it. Fico does some of it. And, Ron Joseph draws some of it. And an artist I can't even say who it is does a little bit in it. It's just, yeah, there's all kinds of little pieces in there. But hopefully it all makes sense to the story. But that definitely has the most obscure references, which isn't what you're asking, but that's the answer again.
They're obscure references, but you don't need to know anything to enjoy the story. Just throw it for that.
I would also say that when I started working with IDW many years ago, we were working on one of those Transformers, and now I think it's 9 or 11 or
11.
So we keep finding ways to tell stories, and somebody mentioned the Clue comic. I mean, if you guys are not reading Clue right now, you should check it out because it is such a great story, so much fun.
Paul Aller's done an amazing job writing that book. So fun.
And Gem, of course.
And Gem, the holograms, Our Little Pony, and you name it, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Alrighty, any other questions? Well then, thank you for attending this panel.
I'll see you Sunday in a couple hours.
There's a signing at 4 o'clock, right?
I believe 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, it was 2,
And we have
7,
copies
4,
of
3.
G.I. Joe Volume 1. Come get them.
If you want to pick up your free copy of First Strike number 0, it's in a box right here, right up front here, next to the handicap seat. If you haven't gotten one of those already, please make sure you grab one.